Hello, this is Dr. Neil Baum from New Orleans, Louisiana. And I'd like to take about 5 minutes to share with you some suggestions on non-monetary methods of motivating your staff. And I'd like to begin with a story. I think it may be apocryphal, but it's still a good story that during the Civil War, Lincoln received a message that the Confederates had captured one of his brigadier generals and 100 horses. And Lincoln commented to the person bringing him the note, he says, "I sure hate to lose those horses." And the person bringing him the note said, "Well, what about the general?" And Lincoln replied, he says, "I can replace a general in just a few moments, but it's not that easy to replace horses." And my message to you is that it's not easy to replace your staff. And you have to take very good care of your staff, and they will take very good care of your patients. So in the next few moments, I would like to go over why motivation is important and give you 5 examples of non-monetary motivators. Motivation is important because it increases your productivity and also increases the care that your staff is receiving from the care that your patients are receiving from your staff. And so I'd like to give you 5 non-monetary motivators. I don't mean to dismiss the fact that monetary motivators aren't important, but I'd like to give you 5 examples of some suggestions that don't cost any money. So non-monetary motivation is important because the psychic pay, in addition to the monetary pay, is just as important as monetary rewards. Napoleon said, "I could have won a lot more wars if I just had a little more red ribbon." And what he was trying to say was that if he was just able to give them some rewards and some pat on the back, he could have increased his victory on various battlefields. So I believe in periodic performance review and allows employees to know where they stand and how they are doing. And it gives them feedback on the progress they are making within the practice. And I conduct a periodic performance review every 3 to 4 months. The employee receives a worksheet where they list what they like most about the practice, what they would like to see changed, and that where they want to be 6 months, 12 months, and perhaps a year after the review. Second idea is empower employees. Give the employees the responsibility for their decisions and to do what is ever in the best interest of the patient. I never ask employees to check with me or the office manager if they have an issue that they could solve up to a $200 limit. And I have found this to be very effective in solving problems with patients. Number 3, promote a positive mental attitude. Nothing great was ever achieved without a positive attitude and enthusiasm. One of the ways that I motivate the staff is to make sure that it starts at the top, and the doctor has to have a positive attitude and make sure his attitude is worth catching. Every employee in the practice has a golden attitude pin, which is their constant reminder how important attitude is for delivering outstanding patient care. So my take-home message is, it's not how smart you are or your aptitude, but it is your positive attitude that will determine how high you go or your altitude. Number 4 is to recognize achievement of your staff. When they do something or receive an award, even if it's not related to the practice, offer them congratulations and send them a note. I have a thanks a million check that I write out to them and saying thank you for exceeding patients' expectations and for going the extra mile for our patients. Number 5, show your staff you care. If they have a healthcare problem and they can't get access to a physician, oftentimes you're calling a colleague and asking them if they could help take care of your staff goes such a long way of showing your staff that you indeed care. So your staff won't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And showing care is such a simple way of offering a non-monetary motivator for your staff. So my take-home message is that if you take outstanding care of the staff, they in turn will reward you by taking outstanding care of your patients. And they will improve your productivity and your profits. I'd like to end with a story about the 3 little pigs. There was a farmer who had some pigs, and he had female pigs, and he was interested in getting his pigs pregnant. He called a friend of his who had the male pigs and asked if they could arrange for them to get together. His friend on the other farm says, sure, bring your pigs over. So he loaded the pigs in the back of his truck and he drove to his friend's farm. And the pigs were getting acquainted, and he said to his friends, how will I know if the pigs are pregnant? He says, oh, it's very simple. Tomorrow morning when you wake up, look outside. If the pigs are playing in the mud, they're not pregnant. And if they aren't playing in the mud, then you know the pigs are pregnant. Next morning he woke up, he looked outside, and the pigs were playing in the mud. He called his friend, asked what to do. He says, just put the pigs in the back and bring them over to the farm again. We can redo what was done the day before. Next morning he woke up, looked outside, and lo and behold, again, the pigs were playing in the mud. He called his friend again. He says, no problem, just bring them on over and we'll see that everything takes place as was planned. On the 3rd morning, he was away from his farm and he called up his wife and he said, tell me, darling, are the pigs playing in the mud or not? And the wife looked outside and she said, no, 2 of them are in the back of the truck and the 3rd one is in the front seat blowing the horn. So what is my take-home message on this story? Is that you get what you reward. And if you reward your staff with some of these non-monetary methods, I can assure you, I can promise you that you will have staff that takes outstanding care of your patients. I hope you have found this program useful. If you have any suggestions how you care for your staff and provide non-monetary motivators, please let me hear from you at my website as shown in the last slide. Thank you.